I'd say one big thing that's evergreen is always pulling in data that doesn't have necessarily a unified source. So there's a lack of like a standardized reporting process. And so
Okay.
it's really identifying basically disparate pieces of info to pull in large amounts of data.
Where's this data coming from?
It's coming from health plans. It's a pharmacy, yeah, pharmacy benefit manager.
And is that different than health plans? So if I were to say like that's health plans, then PBMs would be a separate piece. Is that accurate?
I would say the health plans
Or-
send data to the PBM, so you could
Oh,
just
so it's almost like a chain. So I've got health plan, PBM. Is that
yeah,
kind of accurate? So I have a piece
yeah,
of data here from the health plan, and then I'm
yep.
just going to say this is a continuation. This piece of data goes to the PBM, and then that
Mhm.
PBM they send that to you, and
Yep.
you're getting that here. Okay. By the time you get it, it feels like there's a lot of either extra stuff or maybe not enough stuff. Is it one of the two more than the other?
It, I'd say both. Either they're sending us info and it's just not doesn't make any sense even like for a human to consume, or they're not sending it at all.
Oh, wow.
See, the challenge is where we were previous when the standard started to now more data elements are being leveraged for other things downstream versus before. So it's just like with technology, there's always change and there's opportunity to extract more or squeeze more out of the proverbial penny or nickel to get a quarter versus just another penny. And so because of that, the demand for the data has become even more so. So because of the fact that they're programming it poorly or not at all, it's inhibiting downstream, not only for the product I'm a part of, but other products that use the data as well.
Okay. Okay. So I've got a couple things here. I just want to make sure I'm understanding it right. So you've got a couple options. There's two main ways. Either you're not getting the data, which is kind of what this piece is representing, right? There's no yellow piece with an eye on it there, or you're just getting like all this stuff, right? It's way too much. It's somewhere in between. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. You have good, clean data, it's going to function that much better.
So is there any incentive? Like, do these? Because it kind of feels like right, this breakdown here because it's creating this circle of challenge in the middle. Um, does this hurt either of these players at all? Is there any reason like why are they just not doing it?
Because originally either they were only using the one product
Hmm.
or they also were, um, not required to send all the data elements as they
Okay.
are now. They were optional or situational. So, I mean, translation, again, like I said before, aiming for like the low hanging fruit and not doing the full effort. And then also, just as these companies have changed and evolved, their systems have also changed and evolved to either just continue the status quo, adjust or translate appropriately,
Hmm.
or just totally mothball things to the point where what they're sending today is what they sent in the past and they can't go back and adjust it because it's layers of code.
So there's basically there's extra cost in time. So there's changes that have happened over time for both of these groups,
Yes.
which has made it challenging. So which means there's also added cost, effort, labor, and time. All of those things. I'm going to put red for costs on here. We'll put pink on for time. So there's a cost and time protocol. And just effort, right? We'll just consider that under cost. So they're they want to do well by you, but again, there's a lot to try and get it back up to speed.
Yeah, there is an incentive
Hmm.
for them to upgrade and make these changes, but translating it is difficult to some degree because they need the ROI, they need to understand, well, what's in it for me, basically. And going upstream with antiquated technology in their eyes, to some degree, it's been a battle that is continuing. In the long run, if they were to do this, they end up saving money because patients are getting the right prescriptions. They're lowering the time it costs to make changes. They're cutting out any bumps along the road in terms of processing their insurance claims. So because of that, if you can get the right data to the provider, then they can make the right decision in terms of prescribing the right med, and then in turn streamlining any downstream process along the way. The incentive, yeah, is cost savings. It's patient outcomes. It's all the things you always hear with healthcare, but translating that upstream is somewhat more difficult. So.
Right. No, absolutely. Because how do you say, so again, there's these two circumstances where your data is coming in. It really is that these two, if fixed, could actually save a lot of money and time for this group, but it also is going to cost money and time. So really, it kind of comes back to how do you get these groups at the end to really invest, right, in this money and time. So I'm going to put them up front now. Save money and time. So to fix, right, these various data challenges that are coming into you. So really, I'm shifting this a little bit just to show that it's not right. There's this relationship, but there's a lot of other players, right? You have many, so that the variety that becomes one of the challenges is the breadth of people, of companies that you're dealing with. So you have all of these organizations all trying to adhere to this one kind of key code style here, right? So if you've got them on the edge, you're trying to get everyone on this to avoid, right, this weird, because if they go off the path, if they go off the side, you either get this too much data or you get not enough data right here. And then again, if we kind of get back to you, right, and both your internal partners and customers that are having more demand, really at the end of the day, it's better outcomes, right? And you've got faster, more accurate information, which saves money, time, and the investment's worth it to make sure that this pipeline, they don't veer off either to the left with inaccurate or to the right with too much.
Yeah,